Okay, so hi guys, how are you, Michelle? How are you, Michael? How was school today? Alright, so we're gonna continue our training for today, and I need your rapid attention, okay? Alright, so for the past 2 weeks now, we've been trying to do something called cheaper. Do you still remember? Where you're able to add some posts. Michael was also able to add some posts, and you're able to see Michael's post, and Michael is also able to see your post. You can edit it, you can delete it. And remember, I said we're going to be using two different approach or method. So the first one is what we call Livewire, or it's not. Is it even Livewire? I think we did Blade. Yeah. So we started with Blade, and I intentionally jumped Livewire because we've done Livewire before. So as you can see from here, build with Livewire. I mean Blade, and the second one says build with Livewire, and the third one says what? Build with Inertia. Alright, so we're gonna treat the Inertia today so that we can start to add more features and more flesh and make it a big application. Do you understand? Alright, so let's dive into it. Alright, so the first thing is just come to this URL. I'm gonna send you this URL, okay? And what you need to do is come to this last guy here, and it's gonna open up these guys for you, which is called installation. So the first thing you're gonna do is copy this composer create project Laravel/Laravel shipper. Just copy it, okay? In which I'm also gonna do, I'm going to copy it, then open up your VS Code, okay? So in your VS Code, you might see something like this. That is not a problem, okay? Just expand it and come to this terminal. Open up your terminal. If your terminal is not open, remember how we open it, just come here, you will see new terminal, okay? Alright, so let's continue. Now, that one being said, we are going to do something called cd slash space dot dot. It means that change my directory backward. That dot dot means backward. Alright, so your directory has been changed, has been moved backward, okay? Now, what do I need to do? I need to now paste the code, the text that I copied the other time, okay? So I've been able to paste it, and it is rolling. Alright, so our shipper Laravel application is installing, okay? So let me pause here and come back. Okay, so I'm back. Now the application of Laravel has been installed. Don't forget, this might take like 3 to 5 minutes depending on how busy or how free your system is. Alright, so that has been done. So the last thing you will see here is application key set successfully, okay? So it shows that you have been able to successfully install the Laravel application. Alright, so what's the name of the application? Shipper. Alright, so I'm gonna cd, it means again change my directory to this, right? And yeah, okay, so alright, that's the name. I think we call it tweet, alright, or board. So you can name it anything, but currently I've named my shipper, and that is what I'm gonna continue with, okay? Alright, so you can do the same, no challenge, you can do the same, you'll be fine. So just follow me through. Alright, so the next thing now is, now that we have cd inside or change directory into our shipper, we need to open up the VS Code. So you will say code space dot. What does this mean? It means open VS Code for this application. So just press enter. You will see a new VS Code coming up. Alright, so this new VS Code coming up is the application you just installed. So you are free to close this and enlarge this, okay? So open up the terminal again. I'm using the shortcut, that is Control Shift and the key before 1, okay? Alright, so let's go back to our documentation. Alright, so what does our documentation say again? Now that we're able to do that, you can see I have cd to shipper, and the next thing is for me to what? To run the server, okay, so that I can see it. So how do I run the server? I will just say php artisan save. Now on your own machine you don't need to type this, but if you want to you can go ahead, okay, on your own laptop, I mean when I say machine. Alright, so once you have started the artisan server development server, the application will be accessible via this link. So let's see if it is accessible. Alright, so voila, it is absolutely accessible, okay, but that is not where we're going. Let me just go back here. Alright, so that's fine. So the next thing now is we want to like make, now you will notice that the screen we are having here is quite different from what we are having here. It's because of the version, okay, so let's stick with what we have here on our screen, okay. Alright, let's continue. So now we are not doing installation via Docker, okay, and we are not doing all this, we are not doing all this, we are not doing all this. The next thing for us to do now is installing Laravel Breeze, okay. So the next thing for us is to install Laravel Breeze. What is Laravel Breeze? Laravel Breeze will help us to scaffold the login, the registration, the password reset, the email, the password confirmation. Remember the word when I mentioned earlier, scaffolding. Scaffolding means something that will help you to get to the top, meaning that something that will fast track this tutorial, this training, this understanding you want to get from cheaper, okay. Alright, so the next thing now is to take our choice, and remember the first choice we're going to take is called view, okay. So what is view? Just the name view. View is a front-end framework, okay. What does front-end means? Front-end means something that users, visitors on your website can interact with, okay. So what do you use to build something like that? An example of them is view, okay. We also have React, we also have so many, but the first one we're going to be treating today is what? View. So just copy this instruction here, copy it, and go to your VS Code and run it. Now don't forget you can click on this guy or click on this guy. So I would prefer to click this one so that I can be seeing the two side by side. Alright, so just paste it. How do you paste? Ctrl V, don't forget. Alright, so enter. Okay, so while that is going on, let's copy the second guy again, okay. So it's almost done. Alright, so our installation is done, okay, so we can continue. So let's go back to our browser, so you can copy this again. Alright, so let's go back to our VS Code and you paste it again, enter. So we are about to install Vue into our application, okay. So the first one installed Breeze and the second one installed Vue, okay. So the next command is to copy this again, okay, just follow through. Alright, okay, so Breeze scaffolding installed successfully. Alright, so that shows that you've been able to install Breeze and Vue all together. Alright, so let's go back to our browser. So let's just copy this and paste it here again. Okay, so it has been pasted. You will see something like this that says app URL, okay. So we already have it open. If you decide, you can click on it, okay, or you can choose to leave it. Alright, so let's go back to our browser. So next is to see something like this. So how do we see that? Let's come here, let's refresh, and voila, you're gonna see something here now that log in and what, and register. Okay, so can you see login and register? Alright, so let's try it. This is login, okay, go back, let's check register. You can see this is register. Now if you notice something, you will notice that it is not loading at all. The speed is very high. Look at this place. You will notice that it is not loading at all. Let me click this again. Can you see? You only see a kind of something that is loading here. Okay, that's what we call loader. So as time goes on, you can see, yeah. Alright, so let's go back and let's start. So the first thing now is what we can see and register ourselves. So now let's register ourselves. So I'm gonna register myself. My name is this, okay, and this is my email, okay, and this is my password. Okay, so I can now register. So now, oh yeah, now if you encounter something like this, what does it say? It says unknown database Laravel. That is not a challenge. What it's saying is, I do not know your Laravel database. Okay, so give me the name of your Laravel database. It's very simple. So let's give it to him. Let's go back and say come to .env. You will see .env. Okay, right? And we're gonna call it my cheaper. Okay, you can name it this name. That's fine. Alright, so one more thing. I'm gonna open this guy again. I want to be seeing the three of them here. So that's why I have to click this that look like split. Okay, so the next thing I will say is php artisan migrate. Okay, that's the command to migrate a database table. Okay, enter. Alright, it says, will you like to create it because it doesn't exist? Yes, I want to. Do you understand? You type in yes and you type in enter. And you click on your enter. Alright, so let's go back to our browser. Now, should we retry? I think we have been able to successfully register. And if that is the case, let's try to log in. Okay. Alright, so I'm about to log in. It says credential do not match our record. That is fine. It shows that I am not registered. So let's go back to register. And I will say again this name. And I will say again this password. This email. And I'll say again this password and confirm password. So it must be the same thing. Okay. Voila. I'm logged in. I am registered. Is that the same thing with you? Now, alright, so if you also have this kind of same thing, just write in a comment that you've been able to have something like this. Alright, so let's proceed. Let's go back to our documentation. Now click on continue creating chips. Okay, so it says now we're ready to create our new application. So let's allow our users to pass short message called chips. Okay, so 3 things we must put in consideration. I have explained this before, so I'm just gonna brush through them so that we won't take much of our time. Alright, so we have the model, the migration, and the controller. The model is the one that interacts with your database, is the librarian that knows which book to pick at the appropriate time. Okay, the migration are the books that are placed in the database, while the controller is like the headmaster of everyone. Okay, don't forget I always explain my stuff. Okay, alright, so the next thing is we're gonna create a model, and don't forget we're gonna create a migration, a resource controller, and a resource controller. Okay, so copy this, come to your terminal and paste this. Okay, enter. Okay, so 3 things has been created. Let's go and check them out. So the first thing created is this. Okay, do you still remember the index, the create, the store, and the rest like that we explained some times ago? Alright, so the first thing we're gonna do is go back to our browser. Okay, And this command has created 3 things for us, as you can see. Now we need to do something called routing. Okay, we need to route it, meaning that we need to tell user where to go if they need anything from us. Alright, so we're gonna copy this guy. Now when you see plus, it means it's a new code for us to copy. Okay, you copy it again. Alright, so go back to your terminal, and where do we paste it? We paste it under our what? Route and what? Web. Are you seeing it? Scroll down and you're gonna have it. Before this require, you can paste it. Okay, is that fine? Alright, so don't forget to import this. We're gonna import this also. Okay, paste it. Is that fine? Alright, let's go. So the next thing for us is to come to the controller itself and add this and this. But in this sense, we're going to be adding, instead of that, we're going to scroll down to Inertia. Alright, so it is Inertia we actually want. Okay, so you copy, you can see this has been removed. When you see minus, it shows that it has been removed. So you copy these two first, then you come to your controller. How do I get to my controller? Don't forget, I can always come here, open app, HTTP, controllers, and here. Okay, so the first thing is index. Clear this. Oh, sorry, not there. Here. Okay, so come back to your browser. This is what you're gonna do. So copy this. Okay, go back to your controller and paste it. Okay, all right, let's continue. So now we should have this page by now, but if we don't have it, we're gonna create it. So let's continue. We can then create our front end. Index means the first thing you want users to see. Don't forget. All right, so let's scroll down and let's see what we need to put in. Okay, so let's go and check. Close up this again, come to resources, come to view. So it is not there, but in the JS. So under the JS, we're gonna have pages. Okay, you can see resources, JS, pages, chips. All right, so resources, JS, pages, and we're gonna create our own called chips. Okay, so from this guy, we're gonna create a folder called this. Okay, you can name it anything you want. That's the name I want to call my own. Okay, all right, so we have index. The I must be capital letter. Dot what? Dot view. Okay, oh sorry, index dot view. Okay, so I've created my resources page. Just follow through. Now it's time to copy this. So I cannot copy this, the whole of this. Okay, oh sorry. All right, so I'm gonna explain some of these things in a couple of minutes. All right, so thank you. If you see this, just close it. All right, so in our view, two things are very and mostly important. What are those things? Script and template. Okay, the script is the one that is loading external components or external resources that you'll be needing for a view. In every view, there are always external components. So where do you place them? You place them under script. Okay, the next thing is templates. Templates is the one that your user will see. Templates can be referred to as layout. Okay? Alright. So that's that for now. When we see, I will talk more about it. Okay. Next, let's refresh and let's see from here. So let's refresh. Okay, if you are seeing nothing, that's fine. Okay, so what we need to do is to go to the route that says chips. So clear this and write this. Okay, so can you see this? This is what I can see from here. Alright, so let's go back. Okay, now that we've copied that and we are seeing this, now the next thing is, now that our front end is powered by JS, which is JavaScript, any changes we make to the JavaScript template will automatically be re-rendered in the what? Reloaded in the browser whenever the Vite development server is running. So that is why you will see it that it is rolling. You don't need to do much thing there. Okay, so the next thing is the navigation menu. Alright, so we copy this again and we go to the navigation, which is resources JS layout authentication. So resources JS layout authentication. Okay, so we're gonna add one more thing to the menu, which is the navigation menu links. So just come here and add this, paste it. Don't mind this for now. Alright, thank you. Okay, so the next thing, go back to the browser. We want to do for mobile screen too. So we want to have links for mobile viewers. So copy this again. Go back to the same VS Code. Okay, scroll down. You will see responsive navigation menu. Okay, so we want to add to this navigation menu for mobile users. Okay, that's fine. Alright, so the next thing is saving the chip. Alright, so our form has been configured to post messages, but this is what we need to do. Okay, so to post messages, we need to add this to our what? To our controller. So copy this, okay, and go back to your VS Code. Now I have chip controller opened already. Okay, so we are going to locate this one that says public function store. Okay, so let's have it, clean that up and paste this. Oh, sorry, I can clean the whole thing up and paste this. Now this is pointing red. It's only telling us that we are missing something. Every of the method you are seeing here, they have a class. Okay, so go back, go up here, you will see it. You will notice that they have the same name. So copy it, come back here. You can see where they are all listed. It says use. Their names are always listed up. Okay, alright, a semicolon so that the red will go away. Alright, the red means there is an error. Okay, so let's continue. Let's have it. We have copied that and let's scroll down. So we are using Laravel powerful validation to ensure that a user provide a message and it won't exceed 255 limit. That is what this is saying. So we are saying we want to request for message, and that message is required, and that message is a string, and the maximum character is 255. Now the next thing says we want to request for the user that is sending this request, and after we've requested for it, we want to save this chip into what we want to call. We want to create this chip using the values that are being validated here. Okay, So we are collecting the user that is sending it, and we're also saving or storing or creating the chips. Okay, so after then we want to return redirect route to what? To index, meaning that we want to return to where we're coming from. Alright, that is just what the code is doing. So next, we want to create a relationship. What is relationship? Remember I told you model. Model is the one that knows A from B, B to A, meaning that it knows the relationship between A and B. Alright, so let's continue. I'm gonna copy this. Where do we want to paste it? We want to paste it under the user model. So how do we locate it? Come here again, close up all this one, and come to app, come to model, and come to user. Okay, all right. So in our user, we're going to paste this here. All right, so as I said, semicolon. Okay, semicolon, sorry. All right, so the next is what? We're going to copy this again, come to VS Code and paste it. Alright, so what does this mean? This means that where is it? Alright, so this means that public function chips, meaning that user has many chips or chip, as you can mention it, or whatever name you are using for it. Okay, so you can take a chippy, take water, it's gonna be a long one. Alright, so let's continue. We have defined the relationship. Now the next thing is something we call mass assignment protection. What does this mean? Passing all form of data from a request to your model can be risky. Imagine you have a page where user can edit their profile. So if you were to pass the entire request to the model, then a user could edit any column they like, such as an is admin column. So what does this do? So this protects you from accidentally doing this by blocking mass assignments by default. Mass assignments by default is a very convenient, though, as it prevents you from having to assign each attribute one by one. We can enable mass assignment for safe attributes by marking them as fillable. Alright, so there is a variable called fillable. Fillable means that for your form, this is the only thing you want user to be able to fill. If they try to fill in any other thing, your form will not fill it. Imagine you have a row called admin, and imagine user can fill in that admin. How will you feel? That they make themselves admin. You get? So for you not to have compromise, or for you not to have security breach on your application, you need to do something we call protected fillable. Alright, so let's copy this. And where are we copying it to? We are copying into app model chips. Alright, so let's go. You can close this up again. App model, you can see chips. So come down here and paste it. Alright, let's go back. Okay, so here we want to update the migration, right? So we come to our chip here, and where do we paste it? Close that again, come to 1 2 3 4 database. Okay, come to migration, and we want to edit this one. So how do we do that? Just click on it and this will open. So come here, paste it. Okay, all right, so let's continue. Okay, so what we do, this we tell the application that for every chips we're going to have a user. And what does this mean? Meaning that constrain these chips with this user, meaning that tie the two of them together. That's one. Then two, What does this mean? Cascade on delete, meaning that if a user deletes this, if a user is deleted, delete the chips. There is no essence of having a chips without the creator, the author, right? So for every chips we need to have author. For every chips we need to have a owner. So what does this means that tie this user to this, and whenever this user is deleted, delete the chips also. Okay, and this is saying accept message as a string, and the timestamp means that the time that this chips was created. Okay, all right, so let's go back to our browser, scroll down. Now let's run the migration. Okay, come here, paste it, enter. All right, so we have successfully run our migration. So let's try to test it out. Okay, so we should be able to have and see something like this. So let's go back here and test it out. So I will say hello Michelle. Okay, how was school today? Okay, now click on this. It has been saved, right? But we are seeing nothing, right? That is not a problem. So how do we see what we've just done? So come back to your VS Code. Let me open up this guy very well so that you can see, and let me close up this ones a little and this two a little. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is called PHP artisan thinker. Enter. Okay, what does thinker means? It gives us access to our database. Okay, you can follow through. You don't need to know much about this. It's just for us to see what we have actually posted. So how do we see that? We say app slash models slash chips. Okay, so we say all. Okay, we want to see all. Now can you see? This is all that we have. It will open up this guy for you. Okay, hello Michelle, how was school today? Alright, so we have been able to do that. We can close up this and say Ctrl C. Okay, let's bring this down a little. Okay, so let's go back to our browser, come back to your tab, and let's continue. Okay, so it was even done here. So this was able to show, and we've been able to do it. You can see we've been able to do that. Alright, so you can see we're also able to see something similar to this. Okay, alright, so let's continue. Okay, now it's time to retrieve what we have done. Okay, so it's time to retrieve what we have done. So let's go back to our controller to do that. But before then, let's copy this, copy it, and go back to your VS Code. How do you get to your controller? Close up this app, HTTP, controllers, and chip controller. So we want to see what we have done, right? So we paste this here. Oh yes, we paste this here, right? Inside between this guy and this guy. Okay, so let it ensure it look like this. Okay, all right, so the next, connecting users to our chip. We want to connect I told you model is the one that knows who is who. So we want to connect who owns the what? The chips. Alright, so what do? We come to app model chip and we copy this and we go to our VS Code, locate it again, app models chip. Okay, alter and press this, and paste it. Alright, so let's copy this again, that says belongs to. Okay, alright, so we've been able to do that, right? And I believe you are able to do that too. Alright, so let's continue. Let's scroll down. So it's time to update our what? Our component with this. Okay, so we're gonna create this. So let's go back to our, and it's even possible we have created it before now. So we have resources JS component. Okay, so locate the resources JS component, and what's the name of the component we are looking for? Chip. So if it's not here, that means we need to create our own. So just come here. This one means to create a new file. Okay, and we have it here. Alright, so let's copy all that are here. Alright, so paste it here. Okay,